welcome back. So today we're just going to jump right into a story. This is called The Beginning. This story features Jennifer Rabbit. She's one of the characters, one of the main characters in the book series that I'm doing. If you're wondering what this book is called, I didn't say because I don't really have a finished name, but I think we might go with a Divine Comedy. I think that's where it's going. And yeah, that feels right. So I think we'll do that. So let's go ahead and jump right into the story, shall we? All right, this is called The Beginning. I'll start in the beginning. It was 10 past midnight, and the rabbit walked into the bar. She wasn't sure what she was doing there. She was following a hunch. A hunch for a case only she could hunch, just in case. But, she had left her hutch and found a half eaten piece of carrot cake. The curious case of the missing carrot cake. Suspect 1, J, a moth. Alibi. He wasn't there. He's good. Also, he's a 68-year-old moth with a proboscis for a mouth. He couldn't have eaten it, and the blender isn't dirty. Suspect 2, Angora. Alibi. He's rather handsome and a blue sort of, No, Angora is a Templar Supreme. He is above such petty concerns of carrot cake thievery. Angora walked through the living room, which was now a smoky, dimly lit bar, due to Jennifer's current imaginary storyline. Imaginary? She clenched her fists. Tell that to my cake! Angora walked into the bar, appearing as if he had just woken up. He looked around. The hell is this? He muttered. He had come in for breakfast and found Jennifer in the beginning of Act 2. Damn it, he was supposed to have slipped through this part. He walked through the bar and grabbed the cheapest gin they had. He grabbed the bottle and a shot glass and went to have breakfast at the bar. He sat down with a huff and turned to watch Jennifer in the middle of a riveting monologue. Truly, she was extraordinary. What was this one about again? Ah, the cake. She turned to look at him suspiciously, and he immediately turned to face back at the bar, a halo appearing above his head. He popped open the gin and took a look at the shot glass. He was 6'8". What was this baby glass? He casually brushed the shot glass off the bar with an innocent-sounding whoops. He squinted at the gin bottle. Ah, this was Hendrick's. This was too high class for what he was feeling at the moment. But, he thought as he took a long draught from the bottle, it would have to do. He finished the bottle in 2 pulls and set it down, set it back down on the bar. Then he casually brushed it off the bar, accidentally. Whoops. All right, Zax, meet me at the bar in 5 seconds. We have training to do. From 10 acres away, a sonic boom was heard as Zax, the living gladius, streaked towards him with a 500-meter streak of cyan light leading up to and in the bar. It snapped to his back with the sound of a thunder peal. This second ground zero sonic boom blew out all the windows of Ned's place and sent most of the liquor bottles flying. He reached his hand out casually and grabbed a very foul-looking vodka as it flew by at Mach 2. Yep, there you are. His halo dimmed a bit with a squeak and tilted sideways, slightly canted. Oh well. Still not perfect, it seems. What a shocker. No, this was the vodka's fault. Drinking liquor straight out of the bottle was one thing, but drinking this liquor on purpose? Still, he couldn't really get drunk anyways. Alcohol could have no effect on him unless he chose to let it. And right now he was drinking for the burn alone. He deserved the pain, he felt sure of it. On guard, Zax. And the gladius flew off his back and hovered in front of him, facing away from him, scanning for even the smallest indication of darkness. And as he walked out of the bar, he repeated 1, 8, 4, 9, 2, 1, 1, 6, and so on. With each number, the glowing blue weapon flashed slightly different shades of blue and performed advanced sword-fighting maneuvers. 1. Lunge, block, riposte, slash, lunge, riposte, parting dagger combination, and fatality. 8. And the sword glowed a glowing, golden fierce yellow, and large spherical-sized ball of golden energy buzzed quickly on its tip. Wait a second, Angora said hesitantly. Then, with a zap, a beam of pure light shot out and cut the outhouse and the small hill behind it in half. Angora stopped and looked at Zax skeptically. Wait, 8? No, 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 do not do that again. I get it. Remove 8 from training protocol on all collateral planets. It should not be used unless under the most dire circumstances. Are we clear? Zack seemed skeptical. He didn't respond at first, but then with a very slight bob of his blade, he acknowledged that he had received and incorporated his friend's direction. Wait, when did you upgrade your 8? Last Monday you could barely cut a single tree in half. Zack seemed to shift to a shade of pink. Heaven, was his sword blushing? They continued out of the bar and on with their training for the day. Jennifer stared at Angora walking away. He was the definition of a supreme Templar, utterly unconcerned with anything, for he had proven himself against almost everything. She did not want to ever run into what might give Angora pause. She watched him for a time as he walked out into the light of the day. He reflected the light like a glow around him. It was an odd but beautiful effect. She sighed. I don't know what's happening to me. She sighed again with definite confusion in her voice. Suddenly she turned and she was wearing a detective's trench coat. The bar went dark and a spotlight lit her up for Act 3. Suspect 3, a dog. His name, Otis. He looked at her stupidly. He cocked his head sideways. Otis wasn't much for thinking, but he would do for now. But he had the look of one who would take a piece of carrot cake. She eyed him sideways. She wasn't taking any chances. This one was going places, and it was all the wrong places. She lunged at him and leaned to look him directly in his dopey eyes. Where were you on the night of the 7th? Do you waive your rights to speak? Well, what do you have to hide? Who was the second gunman on the grassy knoll, and what did he do with my carrot cake? She continued. It was dark in here. Too dark. She turned on the lights. Better. Okay, where was she? The room was hazy before her. A record player kept playing the same old tune. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, Otis's favorite. A plate on the table with a fork and a knife. A half-eaten piece of carrot cake. A note that says, I, Otis the dog, solemnly swear I ate a piece of Jennifer Rabbit's carrot cake. Who could have done this? This was unfortunate. Jennifer continued onward. She was undaunted by the enormity of the crime. She could become a strong, independent rabbit some day. She would just turn up her collar to this cold, cruel world, and, well, simply forge ahead, I guess. What else could she do at this point? Suddenly it was very overcast in the bar, and a fedora appeared on her head to block the oncoming rain. She leaned against the wind in the bar and turned her collar up to the rain. She would go now. It was time. But still, she must be strong. Not just for herself, but for Otis and anyone else who might suffer the indignance of an uncaring world. A rabbit that could lead her rabbit daughters into a better tomorrow. And so she left, she narrated as she left. Never again the innocent young rabbit of a mere 17 years old, now a jaded and cruel mammal of 18 and a half. Goodbye, world, and know this, though you hated me, I still. Otis stopped snoring for a second, waking up just enough to realize Jennifer was in her closing monologue. The audience was rapt with attention. They were angels, and they were in disguise as normal people. Jesus had gathered them together to watch her do the play, so that she would not feel the rejection she had felt so long ago. And you could hear a pin drop. She was absolutely doing it, and she had been so worried. He thought maybe he loved her, not like a boy dog or anything, but like her brother pup. No, he really did. They had practiced so hard on her lines. Well, she had practiced so hard, but he never left her side once except to grab the occasional carrot from the kitchen for her. And judging by the state of the bar, Angora had done his part perfectly as well. He smiled a very dopey smile. Doopy-doo, good job there, Sister Rabbit, Otis said in a nearly inaudible whisper. He shut his eyes and pretended to go to sleep. Until the curtain call, of course. He was far too excited to sleep now. Then, in less than a minute or so, a peaceful snoring from Otis as he fell back asleep. He yipped quietly as he dreamed, and the audience oohed and awed, with a sincere desire to give a hound dog a big pat and a hug. Everyone in the audience seemed to melt at the spontaneity and adorable nature of the show unfolding in front of them. Everyone except one. He was a man dressed in a black button-up cowboy shirt and black jeans with a black rancher's hat. He had a silver belt buckle on and an empty holster on each side of his hip. He sat on the edge of his seat with his hands put together in what looked like a child's attempt at prayer. He watched and sat on the edge of his seat and repeated silently each line as Jennifer said to them, I'm sorry, and said them, and he thought to himself, Mama would be so proud of her. He almost got up and left right then. No, he was stoned no more. Sister had shown him there was a small shimmer of sunlight in this cold universe, and he would burn down heaven and earth to protect her. And in so doing, she had changed his heart from stone to flesh again. Simply having someone to love and protect could do funny things to a man, and he didn't need more romance. Here was his sister. He loved her beyond anything he had felt for his lady friends. Oh, God in heaven, he nearly lost it. Mama, I'm still your boy. I need help. She can't know who I am. I have to do it like this. Please, help me guard her. Damn it. He would not fail this time. Not this time. Not any more. And suddenly, everyone was on their feet. And Jennifer, with tears in her eyes, maintained her final pose like a professional. And then, almost giddy with excitement, she turned to Otis the dog and gave him a great big hug. Oh, if only, he said to himself. Love you, sis. You did damn well. He got up with the crowd as they cheered and began a rousing standing ovation. Audie, or Otis if you didn't know him well or were about to be shot by him, was on the edge of the aisle. Now or never. He stood up and looked at her for a second, bowing graciously with a single tear in her right eye. He had left a single saffron flower with a red silk bow and a note that said, Good job, sis, with the usher. He turned up his collar and walked out into the night.